And welcome back out here to the Vibe Horseman Sports Podcast. Chase the Horseman here, alongside with Gavin Bender, Josh Jennings, Austin Starks, and Stephen Reese here with us. And guys, we got a full slate that we're going to be talking with. But first off, we were talking a little bit of off air, and I kind of want to talk about it a little bit more. Vacations. What do you guys got going on for some vacations? What's coming up? We got to get some breaks ever so often.
Well, tax season was the longest season of my life this year. I did about 700 tax returns, so that's crazy. So I am going on a cruise in May. Carnival. We're going to go down to Costa Maya and Cozumel.
Well, I just got back from just a little mini vacation over the weekend. Had a few friends from college. Went down to Dallas. One of my friends lives out there, and just hung out. Um, went to this really cool restaurant. It's called the Dragonfly at the Hotel Zaza. Um, and it was really expensive, but I don't get to do that very often. So did that and got to go to Legacy and of course had to stop at Bucky's. Had to go there a couple of times, but it was just a nice little mini vacation. Hopefully, getting to go somewhere again this summer, but not too sure yet. But again, I haven't gotten to be out of the state in a couple of years, so just went to
Yeah.
Dallas for the weekend, and I didn't have to drive and stress over the Dallas traffic.
Nice.
Hey,
That's
there you
always the
go.
best part.
That's nice.
I'm
I'm
heading.
going
Go ahead,
oh,
Josh.
I'm going to Orlando, Florida this summer as my dad and his girlfriend are
Ooh.
taking us to Disney World for a few days, which I've never been to Disney World, but before that, my cousin and his fiance are getting married in Disney World, and I think they're going to set it up to where their kiss is at when the clock strikes midnight. So that's going to be a super long night,
How
but
cool!
Ooh.
it
Need a
should be
DJ?
exciting. I'm really excited. I've never been to Disney World
In front
before,
of
but it'll be a
Cinderella's
good time.
castle.
I think so. Yeah, I'll have to look at the invitation. But
Josh,
and then
they
in
need a
July,
DJ?
no, I think
What's
they
the
have the
DJ it
DJ
up?
covered. I can ask, but I think they have the DJ covered. And
I bet
then
Chase,
they
give
do.
the friends family discount.
and
I always
yeah.
say.
Wyoming to Florida to DJ a wedding gig.
I went to
For a vacay,
California.
Yep.
it would be
And
nice.
then in July, one of my friends is getting married, and for his bachelor party, we're going to Broken Bow for the weekend. So
Nice.
that's pretty much all I got planned this summer.
I hope
All
to
right,
head down to
Gavitrano.
Lincoln for Mother's Day and catch the family coming up. That'd be nice.
That's gonna be fun.
Yep.
So my big vacation is I'm going on a cruise. I'm
Which
so
one?
excited. It is going to be the second vacation in a row. This is not normal for Chase. It took 13 years last year to get my first vacation. This is not normal. And
Oh,
Where are you going?
going on a cruise, going on the Carnival cruise. Guy Fieri's restaurants are all going to be there. So I'm super stoked.
which
Every
boat?
single one of them. Oh, so excited.
Which boat are you going
Um,
on?
and then I'm going on, I think it's like the Rotan, Belize, Cozumel, I think. That little,
Which boat?
the Carnival something.
Going with your
I,
Right.
family?
my dad knows more. The only reason why we're going is my dad turned 60.
Nice.
Turns
Congrats.
the big 60. So I'm excited because I don't get to go on a lot of family vacations, and this is going to be the probably the last family vacation we do as a whole. Grandfathers are going. Um, like it's pretty big, and I'm excited because I've already got it approved with my job here. So, and then I'm going to Utah. I'm gonna go broadcast a rodeo out
Nice.
in June. So I did the college rodeo out here, and people liked my announcing. I don't understand why,
I
but
believe it. I believe. I've heard
now
you
I
do
get to
it. I've
go
I've heard you
broadcast a
announce it.
rodeo. Yeah, so I get to go to Utah and do the high school Utah finals rodeo.
And
So,
Utah's not that far from you.
yeah, no. Oh, the Lazy E Arena just got the national finals high school rodeo after the year of 2030. So that's going to be big. As I'm hiccuping, and I can't stop. So thanks, guys, laughing at me. I love you guys. All right, so a lot of things went down. We had the spring game for Oklahoma and for Oklahoma State. We saw some big things there. Women's basketball, Audie Crooks comes inside for Oklahoma State. Um, I mean, there was just so much going on. Baseball, Bedlam, Oklahoma State pulling off the double win in baseball and softball back-to-back nights. It was a good week if you're an Oklahoma State fan, especially because of the Audie Crooks situation. And I think we're going to start there first because Audie Crooks, out of Iowa State, she was there for 3 years and she kind of worked her way up. But I'm a little afraid Oklahoma State is getting a little too star powered. And too many stars or too many cooks in your kitchen does not work well.
Well, you got to give it to JC Hoyt, though. I mean, she's really built back up the Oklahoma State women's basketball program, just like Jenny Bronchek has for Oklahoma. And, and she did well at Wichita State as well. I mean, it's just, and plus, with how the Big 12 is and how tough just college women's basketball is. Oklahoma State's starting to get into the tournament every single year. So that's just how well JC Boyd does wherever she goes. So you got to give her credit. And I think Audie Crooks will be a great addition. How it's going to fit with JC Hoyt's playbook, I'm going to be really interested to see that. But I really think it's a steal for Oklahoma State. And, hopefully for them, they just keep getting better in the Big 12. And, like I said, if JC Hoyt can continue to get Oklahoma State into the NCAA tournament, if I'm a Cowgirl fan, I'm really excited.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not her only top 10 pickup. She also has the number 6 recruit in the transfer portal recruit in the country coming her way. So you're right, Chase. Star power is a big question mark here. But as I was thinking about that, the D2 player she picked up is a real two-way dog, and she also picked up an all defensive conference player from out of Texas, Texas school. I'm just kind of getting into the cowgirl recruiting, so I'm not fully on track with their names, but I don't think that clashing heads is going to be the problem under Hoyt. The system, everybody gets a touch. There's going to be a post touch, a kick out. Crooks is going to average a career high in assists. I think if her points goes down, don't be surprised. The real question mark is going to be her defense. You check Twitter right now, and everybody's flaming her. She is worse than Luca on a bad day with an ankle sprain, to say it lightly. And you got a plan, you got a game plan for that. So
Yeah.
if we give up 80, I don't care as long as we score 100.
Yeah, and I mean, and not to mention too, I mean, 3 out of her first 4 years at Oklahoma State, 3 of those she got Oklahoma State to the NCAA tournament, and this year she got them to the second round. So again, just fantastic job.
Yeah, she's definitely a one-way player in my opinion. Like Gavin said, not very good at defense, but she, even though she's a one-way player, she does that one way very, very well.
Oh,
She
yeah, no,
she is the
absolutely.
best center in college basketball. And just the fact that OSU landed that, I had no idea that they had so much like, influence on the college basketball world right now. Getting number 6 as well, like crazy. I mean, yeah,
It's
you
money. Money.
funnel that money, actually giving, the
The the
programs,
team's valued at 2.5 million right now with just the
That's
let's
five pieces she
go.
has.
All right,
I
let's
just have
go.
to say, if Oklahoma State Cowgirls do not do well in the NCAA tournament next year with everything they're bringing in,
They had some young cats too that
gonna
were
be a
pretty
mess.
good last year.
Hey, we
That
we lost
freshman.
9 out of our top 10 players. They all
We did.
left. Yeah, yeah. We had 10 people in rotation, 9 of them transferred out at the end of the year. So that's kind of why we're getting so many transfers in. Um, but
Yeah.
it's kind of been an under the radar thing. You think, hey, you're around a 32 team. You lose 9 of your top 10, it's gonna hurt. But it's just the era of women's basketball right now. People want a chance to be seen. People want. I really think that with the WNBA contracts going up, there's kind of been a twinkle in the eye of, man, I can go somewhere and be the star player, and I could get drafted, and that's actually more than people could ever say it's worth getting drafted in the WNBA.
So, yep, and I mean I think it's great for OSU and everything, but Chase, when you say, well, what's your expectation for cowgirl basketball going into the future?
Going into the future, man, with everything
Like,
JC Hoyt's been able to like do so far, I really think that they should make the NCAA tournament every single
I
year
think it's
from
it's
from
got to
now
start
sure,
with
on.
yeah,
conference champs.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to
yeah,
have
You got to.
conference
I think
championships.
okay,
she needs 3 within a 6-year window for
well,
how much we're putting in. Like for real.
She's
No Big 12 team is really competing with us besides TCU. And I mean, are you going to be better than TCU at the end of the day? Are you going to try to win natties? Like that should be the bar.
Yeah,
that that yeah,
and
that's the
my
top bar that has to be set. But JC Hoyt, what is she in her third, fourth year coming up?
it's her
And
fourth year.
yeah,
Like I
so
yeah,
it's
said,
a
her 3 out of her 4 years, she made it to the NCAA tournament with Oklahoma
Mhm,
State, and had a correction. She played at Wichita State. Her last coaching was at Kansas City, and the
mhm,
one of her years
yeah,
at Kansas City, she did unbelievable. She finished with a record of 21-10. And of course, that was the year, the 2019-2020 season was when COVID happened and there was no postseason. Had she, had the postseason happen, the Kansas City team, they could have surprised some people.
mhm.
sure,
Yeah,
yep. And I mean, what's so fascinating about women's basketball in the NCAA is just I know the transfer portal is open and you can get good players, you can get good, but there's just so many programs who have just been good for so long, with UConn and South Carolina with
mhm,
Dawn Staley. I mean, making 10 Final Fours in a row. Texas with Vic Schaefer. UCLA has been really, really good, and they finally got over the hump, winning a national title with Corey Close as their head coach. And I think the Oklahoma Sooners are in a really, really good spot with Jenny Baranczyk and the class they're bringing in. But even with the best player in the country, Leo Chavez, I mean, they made it to the Sweet 16, but just got boat raced by a South Carolina team who was so good and so deep. It's crazy how big the talent gap is in women's basketball.
And not to
yeah,
mention all 4 1 seeds made the Final Four.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
mhm.
Yep.
One quick
It,
thing about Oklahoma State, and then Chase, I
yeah, go
want you to
ahead.
take over. Uh, I want to compare the recruiting styles between the men's and women's program, where the men's just secured the number 4 recruiting class of freshmen coming in. And then you look over at the women's team, and it's the number 1 transfer portal class with almost no notable recruits coming as a freshman into Hoyd's system. There won't be a freshman starter next year, and
Mhm.
I wonder if that's kind of the trajectory she's going to take as the men's look with oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now. Someone help me. Uh,
Steve Lutz.
yes, thank you. Let's is building a young team with freshmen
Mhm.
where, man, 2 All-Americans, and then on the last day you get a top 40. I don't know if y'all saw this, but he just got a top 40 recruit today who was committed to Pittsburgh, and he's a 6'4"
Yeah.
small forward. And this kid is just started growing, so like he's projected to be 6'6", six
Yeah.
seven, and that's just Let's taking on a project. Like that's sick.
Well,
And
The
Jalen
one cool
Monty is
thing
a
Oh yeah,
basketball. So
The
yeah,
one
good.
thing
you
I
gotta
will
love.
say that's been really cool about Oklahoma State, especially in the Steve Letts area, is because even when he was at Western Kentucky, he wasn't finding those big players that were like making super big plays and averaging, 25 plus points per game. He finds the ones that's going to fit the team atmosphere, the team chemistry. What's going to be working? Are you going to be able to do this fast paced? Are you going to be able to keep buying into what the team program is building? And I think Steve Lutz is right there. He's right there on the cusp. And I wouldn't be shocked if next year Oklahoma State finally gets over the hump, gets back to the
Oh,
NCAA
I'm thinking
tournament.
Elite Eight or bust, Chase.
Yeah,
Well, and
I mean,
the fun fact is, you mentioned the recruiting rankings. Oklahoma State,
Mhm.
you're right, they are fourth, and they're only 2 point recruiting points behind Michigan when Michigan has six commits and Oklahoma State only has four. And
Yeah.
Oklahoma State is only 2 points behind Michigan in the
Bro,
recruiting.
the OG and E point guard Oklahoma State's getting, him and Montanati are just gonna gel so well, and it's
yeah,
gonna hit
gonna
day
be great.
one. If we okay, so I could see a Fab Five, like scenario blooming in
Mhm.
Stillwater next season.
Do we think Brian Maltenotti is going to be Steve Lutz's assistant coach since he left Owasso? Because
I feel
that's
like
picking up a
it would
lot
have
of
been
steam.
announced already. Is my
It,
thing.
Yeah.
I think if there was going to be a new assistant coach in that part, it would have been announced. But
Okay.
okay,
Because
so the
that's
other
so
thing I
big for
gotta
recruiting. Go
bring
ahead.
up, you were talking about transfer portal, and we're going to go to football for a second. Oklahoma State, top 10 in football, top 10 in basketball. I mean, what's next? Softball, baseball? I
It's
mean,
getting results is next.
it,
That's
it
what.
is
Let's get
Yeah.
them
finally
results so we
Yeah,
can
you gotta
the
start
get the
talking
results
results
Tell you
that
first.
again.
what,
need to
that
We
come.
ain't got
That's the
zero
big.
over results
losing
yet.
losing the baseball series 2-1 to Kansas wasn't really a bad series loss because Kansas is first in the Big 12 right now,
That's who
and Kansas
Nebraska
used to
plays
be.
tomorrow.
Well,
Yeah,
it'll
that
be
should be a good
interesting to
one.
see
Kansas,
where the bracketology will be this week. Last week, Oklahoma State, I believe, was one of the next four out.
Yeah, we're
So
like
I think
number
this,
39 in
yeah.
the RPI metric
Also,
they're
yeah.
using.
did anybody
Well,
see what happened in the Arkansas Georgia baseball series this
With
weekend?
the like 40-point game, that was
Yeah,
crazy.
26 to
crazy.
14.
Yeah,
Georgia, yeah,
that
yeah, they
yeah.
gave up 26 runs to Georgia, and
That's
I was like,
crazy.
I did a double check. I was like, wait, it's not
That
football season.
Was,
that reminds me
was that
back
the
That
to
spring
is
score and they
so
used the
bad.
wrong
yeah.
logo for Arkansas White?
Needed a couple
No,
more
No, it was
touchdowns,
baseball.
Josh.
yep, I know.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
Sooner
yeah,
fans,
their pitching is not very good right
what was the
now.
breakdown? Your all's view of the spring game from the OU point of view?
Spring game I thought was great. We got some new running backs. Zadepin Walker
I saw he was
averaged,
marching.
averaging like 10 yards a carry. And then who was the other guy? Hold on, I'm looking at the roster.
I talk about Hatton.
No, well, Avant
Oh,
too. Avant
Avant,
had
yeah.
some good dude,
Ah,
his
these are
pad
tough
level.
names.
His pad level was so low the entire time, just making cuts where he needed to. The offensive line was actually getting some good blocking. Eddie Pierre Louis drove a guy from one side of the field to the other. The white team didn't do very good, considering their sophomore, freshman, lower guys. Um,
Yeah.
Jake Cruel had a pretty good game. I mean, he had to go up against Fasusi for the majority of the part or of the game, so he was getting blocked. But actually, the offensive line was getting some great blocks. Mateer put some balls in some places that needed to go. But yeah, I mean, we looked pretty good in spring, like averaging 10 yards a carry and
That's good. Yeah.
actually getting some yards was like
Was
a
Heineke out
difference
there?
maker. No, so he's got to get some stuff finalized. But
Got
Heineke
it.
did come out to many men after
Tough.
after everybody else came out.
That's cool.
It was actually kind of cool. So after the game, I brought my son and my coach's son, and they got to get some autographs from the players. And he talked
That's
to
so
Owen.
cool.
He talked to Owen Heineke. Bo Bentley actually gave the boys both of his wristbands. So
Rough
that
day
was.
from him.
That's
But
awesome.
that's tough though.
Dude, yeah, I mean, as a freshman, when you're playing up against every single starter, like the ones and the twos, like, yeah, it wasn't pretty. The white wasn't supposed to win.
I just playing, bro.
It's a senior level thing, and the
Oh,
cards were
for
definitely
sure.
stacked against them. So, but I think it's going to be a bright season, especially if the O line can
Yeah.
keep it up.
I mean, and especially you have experience coming back. I know or Oklahoma has Derek Simmons leaving, but you have, like you said, Fasusi's coming back, Pierre Lewis is coming back, and you have Foji coming back. There's a lot of
Uh,
starting starters coming
That could be
back.
pretty tough. That could
One
be
more
pretty tough.
thing, the tight ends were
Oh, I
Okay,
amazing.
you
know.
guys got like 4 of them.
Hayden,
I'm expecting some good work.
Yeah,
Hayden
Yeah,
I'm
Hansen
Reagan
is a
expecting.
Pierce,
Yeah,
brother,
I'm
six-eight
with Gavin.
giant.
I better see
Hansen
tight
from
ends get
Florida.
thrown the ball
They
all the
had like
time.
500K go to like 4 different tight ends.
Mhm.
Bro, Rocky Beers
But
is going to
here's the
make a
thing.
difference too.
I bet.
Here's the big thing that Oklahoma doesn't do though, and this has been under all the coaches from Bob Stoops to Lincoln Riley now to with
Brent,
golly,
Brent
Brent.
Brent
Venables.
Venables. There he is. BV. I had him. I was thinking Porter Moser for a second. I was like, no, that's basketball. He's gonna get fired soon, anyways. But
Hey,
when you go back and you really think about it, you guys don't utilize your tight ends as much as you guys should.
Since
And
Bob
the
did.
fact
Jermaine
Calcaterra.
that
Brent.
so
uh,
this year,
Bob had a
with
lot
you
of good
guys
tight
going,
ends.
with you guys going and picking up four and actually building and doing that, I want to see those tight ends go to work.
It's like the
Because if you just have
Tennessee.
them sitting there, it's just like, why'd you even go get all those tight ends if you're not
It's
going
the
to use them?
Tennessee tight
None.
end, a Georgia tight end, and a Colorado State tight end, and I think they had the #1 tight end in the high school
The
recruiting
the
class.
thing that
Jason
Yeah.
the
Witten's
thing
definitely working with the boys.
Oh
the
yeah,
thing
Oh
that
yeah, hundred
frustrated me
percent.
the thing that frustrated me the most last year was I feel like every time there was a play drawn for Kanik and every time the ball was thrown to him, it was a magnet for him. And then Oklahoma, we stopped throwing to him.
Yeah.
That was the
well,
that
teams
is
started
that is
scouting for it because
well.
Mateer became so scared to throw a deep ball with his broken thumb that it was,
Once
"Where's
Mateer
my
got
tight end,
injured,
Bale?" And so he was getting doubled and
yeah.
tripled in the zone coverage.
The fact he didn't get a
Once
touchdown
once
last season was crazy.
Yeah. Once John Mateer got injured during that first setup, and then he came during that Texas game and he played, he was not the same John Mateer that we saw at the very beginning of the year. And we still didn't even see the big glimpse of him here in the second half of the season. So the
Sure.
big part is going to be what are we going to see this year? John Mateer, he'll be fully healed up. What is he going to do for this Oklahoma squad? Because this OU squad, if we're going to be honest, should actually be pretty good. It shouldn't be one of those teams that, we're thinking, oh man, they're not going to make the playoffs. This should be a team that's going to make the playoffs
I
next
think
year.
they're a lock for
it,
sure.
They should be a
the
lock for the
schedule.
playoffs, but you guys have to play it the way that you're supposed to. You guys won
Yeah.
games last year that you shouldn't have won, and you
Yep.
guys able to figure out
I
ways
think
to
the
get it
team
done.
is so much
That is the
better this
way.
year.
Well,
Oh,
and
I
I
think so
I
too.
think we're in
The
a way better
schedule
well,
is
and
so
Chase,
so
to
tough
your
though.
point, Chase,
At the
I
beginning,
I really like Chase's point. Oklahoma, it's going to be to your not your necessarily your question, but how you want to see Oklahoma play. Well, you'll be able to see it really soon because
Yeah.
three out of
Mhm.
the first five games
yep,
are
yep,
against
we're gonna learn
Michigan,
a
Georgia, and
lot.
Texas.
And those are the big things. You're going to learn a lot in those games, which really helps and push you guys forward.
Gonna lose 2 of
So
those and win out the rest of the year, by the way.
Exactly, probably.
And
But
get
you
us
look
in
at
the
Oklahoma. All right,
playoffs.
so then you go back. You look at Oklahoma State, right? Since we're talking spring game situation, Drew Mestamaker, he looked really good. There was a lot of good positive sights that we saw from Oklahoma State this past weekend in this spring game. And then, Coach Eric Morris, he came out and said, I want to get this to a point where we can actually put this to an actual game, not where it's just this point setup where,
Sure.
because they didn't play it like a full exhibition setup. They kind of did like a think about it when you played Madden '09 when you had your skills challenges and things like that. It was kind of like that, but they did kind of throw a little bit. There's a good connection between Mestamaker and his guy from North Texas. That connection's still there, so I'm excited to see that. Now, do I think Oklahoma State's just going to wall up and change and go win the Big 12 next year? I don't think so, but there's a lot of key pieces.
Top eight.
There is a lot of key pieces with Caleb Hawkins being out there, being the running back. He's going to get some great starts. And then obviously we have a quarterback that can actually be quarterback, not afraid to throw the
Been a
football. He
minute.
did well with North Texas out in the American Conference, but that's my issue here. It's not the American Athletic Conference. This is the Big 12. This is the Big Daddy. This is not something of
No,
the American Conference.
hi, you think
Yes,
you're
the
in the
SEC is
SEC?
a little bit. No, the
Well, it's
SEC
still
is
a
You mean
top
the
Power
tier
Big
Four
in
Ten?
football.
conference. It's still a
The
Power Four
SEC is top.
conference.
I'm saying from the American
I know, I
Conference
know.
to the Big 12, it's a step up. Like
You
this
could
is the
have a
Big
Mateer
Daddy. Like this
situation.
is this is a big competition situation because you look at what has Cincinnati's been able to do. They've been changing things up. Houston, I don't know where the heck they've been getting all their good players, and all of a sudden they're
Houston.
able to get into conversation. Houston, we have a problem. But then we have UCF. UCF has been figuring things out. Then I know it's a bad dad joke. Thanks, Gavin.
No,
But
UCF sucks.
well, no, but UCF has been able to build up on some of the
They
parts. But
haven't.
here's the
They should
thing:
have been able to, and it's
they
just
should
Yeah,
have been
a
able
the
to.
Scott Frost isn't
collapsing
working yet.
staircase.
No, but then you look at obviously with UCF though, Oklahoma State's kryptonite right now is UCF. We can't beat UCF
No,
right now,
that's fair.
and,
Their,
and,
their
and that's
softball
the
team's
big
cold. I'll
issue.
give you that.
Then you look at Texas Tech. Texas Tech has been
That's a
building what
loss.
they've been doing with the NIL program. I mean, there's so many
BYU.
key factors in the
I
Big
think
12
the Big
that
12 just
people
sits on
aren't
question
realizing.
marks, man,
Well, the
because
thing,
There's so many of them.
Arizona
There's
State,
so many.
Arizona, TCU, like what is Baylor
Baylor.
gonna look like next year
Yeah.
when they play Auburn week 2?
Yeah.
Like what?
well,
Ooh,
Oklahoma
There,
State.
there. I'm gonna put it down right now. There is going to be at least two teams in the playoffs from the Big 12 this year because that is how stacked everything is set up at.
Well,
The
Chase, I think
SEC is gonna the
I don't
SEC
know
is
what
gonna
happened.
overload it. There's gonna be a couple from the Big 10, obviously, from that
Which
part. There's going to be one ACC team, and that's it.
yeah,
I
I
think
Because
we need to
Don't
Clemson's
have
forget
pretty
a.
Notre
much rolling
Dame.
we're
down.
You
getting a
can't forget Notre
Pac-12 and a
Dame.
And
Notre
then you're
Dame
right.
zone,
Notre
right?
Dame's going to be
That's
Notre
automatically
Dame's
in
an
if they're in that
automatic
top
in.
10.
But I think we need to have a conversation about if right now I think the Big Ten is a better conference than the SEC and
I
should
do
be one
too.
to defend.
Oh, I
Recently,
agree.
recently,
I think the
yes.
Big Ten
I
has
Don't they
jumped
have like the
tiers.
last
Maybe
three
not
national
next year
They
though.
championships?
do. Yep.
I
They've
think
won three
Ohio
straight.
State and Indiana are both taking a big step back. Michigan's probably not going to live up to the hype. Now you got Oregon and USC kind of
Oregon.
fitting in there. And
What?
when we're
Oregon should
discussing
look good.
how good Oregon's
Yeah.
been in the playoffs,
It,
I do think the SEC probably is actually
Yeah.
going to
I
maybe take
don't
the crown
think
Dante.
back
Okay.
this
Indiana
year.
takes a
So
step back at
since we're
Dante.
all.
talking playoffs for a
Dante.
second, what do you guys think? Do you think trying to get the bye game to play the next round,
That's
or do
true.
you
It's
want to
been bad
play all
luck.
of it?
Nah, give me the bye though.
I don't
Yeah,
know. It's
Because there's only
that's a
been
tough one.
only one team, which was Indiana, that was able to win on the
yeah.
bye game for the past for the past 2 years. We've had the extended playoff. No one else has been able to win.
Well, to be fair, the first year that they did the 12-team playoff, it was automatic conference champions, and one of those was
Yeah.
Boise State and Arizona,
Yeah.
and two of them was Boise State and Arizona State.
Well, Arizona State was a fourth down stop away from beating Texas. Like that was a really, really
Yeah.
close
No, they were.
competitive game. And Arizona State played so bad in the first quarter. If you remember, they gave up that punt return and then Texas scored another touchdown. But Arizona
One
State came from behind and
the missed
almost,
PI.
yes, yep. But that
When
was
you look at all the new rules, and then we're going to get away from college football because we got to get into some baseball stuff. When you look at all the new rules here for college football coming up, from the playoffs to everything, what is the one rule that you guys are most excited for?
I think I'm kind of I think I'm excited for two of them, and well, one of them was changed last year, and that was if you win your conference championship, you don't automatically get a top four seed, aka
yeah.
the first round bye. The
Mm-hmm.
other one I'd have to say is, and Austin, I know Austin will agree with me on this one, is only one group of five, the highest ranked group of five team or group of six team will get in instead of the five highest conference champions. Which the perfect example is James Madison pretty much got blown out by Oregon. I know it was a closer score, but it really didn't seem like it. And then you had Ole Miss blowing out Tulane again two times in a row in the 2025 season.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those
Yeah.
are the two that I'm, really the only two major ones that I'm happy
I,
about.
the
So
Pac-12 winner should help with that, I think, Steve.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good
It's
point.
crazy. We'll have the
But
Pac-12 back next
to
year, or
to
the
piggyback
Pac-8, I think it is now.
it's eight teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
to piggyback off of what Steve was saying, with only one group of five getting in. this year was crazy, and actually, this may be a hot take, but I blame the ACC for putting college football in this mess too, because which I don't even know how they did their tiebreaker system, but I know there was a big, I think 4 or 5 teams tied, and Miami, who was ranked the highest in the ACC, didn't even get in, and we have a Duke team who went 7-5, play for their conference championship,
That
and they
was
ended up
crazy.
beating Virginia in overtime.
What did
And
they? I
James
think they went one and three
Conner,
in their non-conference games.
yes, yep, yeah,
That was
and
insane.
it's just it's a mess. And if that rule wasn't in, I mean, Duke would have gotten into the playoff as a 7-5 team, which is
Hey, but
absolutely
Duke was able
ridiculous.
to dominate their conference because they played three hard non-conference games.
Yeah,
I know it's kind of off topic, and we probably will get into the NBA later on, but the Hawks have come back and tied the game up against the Knicks with 1 minute left.
crazy. All
That's
right, let's
crazy.
switch gears. Let's head over to some baseball. We've already talked some college baseball, but let's talk some MLB. The Dodgers, they are in a. I get it. Yeah, we you still have a long time to go,
Only half a
but
game up.
The Colorado Rockies taking two away from the
That's
Dodgers, and I
huge.
haven't even looked to see what they're doing right now because I know the final game was today. For the series. I mean, if they take that series, that's big because that brings up a lot of
Yep.
momentum here for the Rockies. But it also brings up to the fact of everyone was talking about the blackout, for or for the MLB, not college baseball, MLB for Major League Baseball because of what the Dodgers are doing, because they're putting this billion-dollar roster together, maybe even getting close to trillion-dollar roster together. And they just think that everyone's just going to get beat out. But then you have Colorado Rockies who are sitting over here with one of the lowest budgets that they've had and the lowest team salary, and they are going at it and fighting through and taking two away from the Dodgers. And again, I don't know what the score is right now, but uh, the
Seven
fact
to
that they
one
were
Dodgers.
okay, so they're Dodgers probably going to get that, so they'll probably go 2-2. But the fact they're even going to split the series,
Any given
I,
Sunday.
I mean, I love baseball for that matter because there's no one that's really a true underdog until you get past All Star break.
Yep.
Exactly.
It's great. I love
Yeah,
And
it.
yeah,
Except for
you
the
have the
White
American.
Sox.
Yeah, you have the American
Except
League
for the White
West.
Sox.
The American League West, everybody's
They're
within
all
3 games.
trash.
The National League Central is everybody's within 2 games. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I know it's
My
early, but
Cardinals are
still,
actually doing a lot better than I thought they would this year.
my
I
Cubs
mean,
won 6 in a row so far.
Huge.
so
I want to talk about how huge this replay has been. The
it's been
ABS.
I
insane.
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh, it is
I
so
don't.
great. I saw a clip where a batter challenged 3 times in a row, and all 3 times the umpire was wrong.
Did
Like,
did you guys see
I don't like it.
the miss challenge? So it was a athletics game, and I can't remember who who they were playing. I think it was the Athletics and Mariners, maybe. Don't quote me. But the catcher, force of habit, the ball right down out of the strike zone. He knew it was a ball, but he tapped his head, and the batter called him out on it and said he tapped, and then went to the infield umpires, and they saw, and so obviously it was going to be a ball, but they lost the challenge because of that. And I think that was one of the other things that I think something in the ABS system that's going to have to be fixed. I mean, I like the ABS system and I don't like the ABS system because it has been really nice. Yes, getting to see, the umpires with some of the calls not being right, especially in crucial moments. That could be cool. But the other part is it's the old pastime of baseball. I mean, calls are going to be wrong. That's part of the fun, the
Well,
festivities. I mean, as a
well, it's
fan,
not fun.
oh, it's fun. Are you
why?
kidding me?
What, a
And I
ball going
think we're
straight
gonna
down the
get into
middle and an umpire going ball?
No,
It's
well,
not
no. Okay,
fun.
so like down
that
the,
doesn't happen very often.
yeah, that does not happen very often.
Yeah, I know, but I've seen it. But like if you have the ability to be correct, it needs to be correct. I mean, in football,
But
replays are awesome because it needs to be corrected.
I don't
Yeah, there's too
disagree,
much
but
bias in umping for the
Right,
to not have
exactly.
to have taken
maybe
this
this
long,
is
honestly.
maybe this
Angel
is just
Hernandez is a perfect example of why ABS should have it should
but
was invented and should have been invented about 15 years ago.
Yeah, our
Angel
but
technology
Hernandez
and
was
needs to
what
not
be
there yet.
Buckner
my
or whatever his
my
name is that
problem
just
with
got
and
fired.
maybe this is me just maybe this is just a little bit of boomer rant in me, but with the replay system, sometimes the calls take forever. It disrupts the flow of the game. And in college baseball, the way it's set up is you have the cameras and you have an iPad that records every play, and you have to push the red iPad button. It's simple. A monkey could do it. But when I was at Rogers State last year, sometimes our student workers wouldn't push the button, and when people called for a replay, there was no replay.
Yeah, but I don't think
We
in
had,
college,
I
well,
know it's,
yeah, the replay
but
system in baseball is sometimes a little flawed, but
like
the
you
other
just watch the
part,
play, hit the red button. Watch a play,
yeah,
hit the red button.
the
But
other part
people
with the
didn't push
ABS
the button.
software, I
Yeah,
I I hope and pray the ABS software does not show up in college baseball. That
Gonna show
is
up in Little League
and
Texas.
and two, I
I
think
I think it just needs to stay a professional thing. Like that's like okay, once you get to the professional level, then you can challenge pitches because then it's going to turn into kind of like the NIL football situation where you're watching and college baseball players who don't actually
yeah,
know what the strike zone is, they're going to,
sure.
tap the hat. They're
And
going to call it as many different
I
times and I get it there's veterans that know the areas, know the strike zones, but you're still in college. You're still continually learning the game. And once you get to the pro level, then yeah, go ahead, do all you want. But until then, I think
I
the ABS system needs to stay out of college sports.
I think too, and I could be way off on this, but I think we could run into a problem where like young players see like the baseball players tap their heads and throw a big hissy fit if they don't get the call.
Hmm.
And even if they're right, like what are we teaching our kids to do? Like if the umpire makes a bad call to like get pissed off and throw a rant, I mean, a lot of those players learn stuff from their parents. Oh, I probably shouldn't say that, but
I want to see the success
But
rate right
his
Josh,
now
parents
on challenges.
frustrate me a lot.
yeah.
And
But Josh, you're not wrong
I don't want to get
because
started with that. Which
because think about it. In youth league baseball, right? We see so many TikToks, we see Facebook
yeah,
reels, we see Instagram reels
which
about, parents yelling at umpires about
which
calling
yeah,
wrong or
which Chase,
about,
you
like we've seen intentional hit by pitches to the umpire
sure?
here as of
Yeah.
recently. That never used
It's
like it never used to
it's
happen.
insane. Which Chase, when you played competitive baseball as a kid, were parents out were they as out of control as that they are now? Or
Yeah.
is it about the same? Okay.
When I went to tournaments, a little bit because it's travel
Okay.
ball. But when I
Yeah.
wasn't, no. Like at PCO, yeah, there might be some calls. There's just like, yelling like, "Oh man, that's a horrible call." But that's the nature of the game. Not the way it is now, though. Not getting video
Yeah.
shamed, not seeing all this stuff on TikTok because
Oh
you
my
gotta
gosh.
also you
You would
also
not
got to think
believe the
about
amount of
this now
videos there are of
the
parents yelling at the
reason with
umpires.
social media, and then like I know we're using it here because of the podcast and everything, but one of the big things about social media is anybody's life can be ruined in an instant like that. Doesn't
Yep.
matter what it is. You can film something at a baseball game and you couldn't have been the one that said it, but you're in the vicinity and you didn't stop it. Your employer could see that and be like, "No, you're gone." You're gone. It's one of those things that's like, even with
Yeah.
umpires, the same way. You see umpires not even dealing with it anymore. They give them a couple warnings and then they end the game.
Oh yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
I've seen
even
some.
continuing the game.
That's why
And
there's such an
that's a
umpire
bigger issue.
shortage.
Yes, yep,
That is a
100%.
bigger
Well,
issue because so many fans and so many parents are so irate right now to some of these umpires that there is a shortage in umpires. No one wants to be an umpire because why get yelled at for $5 an hour? Not really $5 an hour, but you know what I mean? Like there's
sure.
the
Probably
exaggeration
not
right
far
there.
off.
Maybe $20 a game or
Yeah.
something in Little League. I don't remember what it was
Well,
when my brothers used to umpire there. Like it's just one of the things that like I get it, things are growing, but they're not being paid enough to be yelled at. They're not like they're little league umpires. Little league umpires. It's not the
yeah,
College
it's
World
like
Series.
if
It's not the Little League World Series. It's not the Major League Baseball series. Like it's nothing
And
away from it.
if I ever get married and am fortunate to have kids who want to play sports, like I will absolutely be their biggest cheerleader and their friend's biggest cheerleader for their team. But I will just shut up and watch the game and only cheer whenever they do something good. Like I will never
Yeah.
boo or yell obscenity as an umpire. I'll just sit there
Honestly, I'll
Yeah,
probably
play
Josh,
become I'll
get
probably
those
become the
Karens out of
coach.
here.
when the team
So
goes good. That's literally all I will do at the games.
I honestly probably would become my son's or daughter's softball or baseball coach, which, however I
Yeah.
got it
Yeah, I don't know if
in
I'd
that
want to
case.
coach because
I've
it's
already gotten into it with a referee.
what? You're one of those parents?
I I'm one of
I'm
those
just
coaches.
Austin.
I'm a coach. To be fair, if my
He's one of those youth coaches is the reason why we don't have a
hey,
shortage in
but to be
referees.
fair, my players should not be tackled in flag football. That was my
okay,
only
that's
opinion.
Okay,
different.
okay,
Okay,
that's a fair point though.
that's
But I
justifiable
but I
because
can't
if
say I haven't yelled at a referee.
I
Yeah,
will say, and
no,
like there
craziness.
are I don't know why I'm saying this, but there are some people who like yell stuff at refs. Like when I was at Rogers
That's
State,
ridiculous. Yeah.
the head coach's athletic director or the head coach's wife is the athletic director at Union, and anytime like there's an obvious foul call or like someone gets hurt, she's like, "Ref, make the call. Somebody's gonna get hurt." And I'm like, "Okay, that's a justified thing to yell." Because I mean, if
Yeah,
there's an obvious
but
call and like
then
bodies are flying, like the kids are gonna play rough and
yeah.
somebody's gonna get hurt eventually.
But then we go back, there's been some big fights. There was a big fight in Arkansas during a
Oh
basketball
my
game
gosh,
that
dude, that
broke
was
out.
bad.
I mean, that
That
has
was
been
so
the
bad.
situation that's been happening, and I want to switch topics here in a
They
moment,
were
but
fighting. People were fighting for 4.5 minutes, which
Looked like a movie or
Austin,
something.
you follow WWE and Wrestling Mania, but
Yeah.
that's an
yeah,
eternity for a fight to happen. Like
no,
The women
that
match
was a long
the
time.
women match at Mania got 7. So yeah,
okay,
4 minutes
That's
is a
crazy.
long time.
Yeah, that is a long time. All right, let's move over to some other things. The NBA. Let's move over there. There is a couple games going on tonight here as of Tuesday or Monday, March 20th. My April 20th. Goodness gracious.
Happy holidays.
Yeah,
I need to
happy
go back to
holidays.
sleep or something. Happy holidays.
There you go.
But yeah, no. So the Oklahoma City Thunder, that's the first one we got to talk about. Getting the big win, 119 to 86 and
84.
84. I don't know, two off.
Close
Um,
enough.
yeah. But the other big part, this is the first time ever that the Oklahoma City Thunder have ever met in a playoff series. What did you guys think of the first round? I know Dylan Brooks came out and said pregame or at some point he was just like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna steal game one from OKC." That did not happen.
Dylan Brooks is a weirdo, first of all. That just got lucky enough to be in the NBA. Second of all, they get beat on our worst night. So you're not stealing game 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. And I only say 4 because that's all you're getting.
Yeah, I think it's big.
that is
Gavin's a T-Wolves fan.
well said, Austin.
Yeah,
I
I
thought
agree. I don't think there's anything else to go there.
I thought
Gavin,
one of the plays. I thought Dylan Brooks was trying to injure Chet on one of the very first plays in the game when
He
he
slapped
hit
him
him
in
to
the
the
Mhm.
nose.
face.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
They're
Chet
they're
just
they're
has that
trying they're
look
they're
about
trying to
him.
beat him down. That's what they're trying to do. But Gav, what are your thoughts on the T-Wolves? I know they're about to get set to get started to play. So what's been going on in T-Wolves hood?
Yeah, the first half of of Saturday's game was just a pretty hard watch. Jamal
Hmm.
Murray had three makes for 17 points, and it just felt like we couldn't touch him. Um, it's a story as old as time with those Canadians at this point, but Jokic actually didn't have an outstanding game, and that's why it hurt to lose. That's probably the
Yeah.
best Rudy Gobert game we're going to get all series. He was outstanding. He was the most valuable player outside the last 5 minutes. And talking about Rudy of the last 3 years, the amount of slander he gets, it's ridiculous I'm saying this, but that's how good he was playing. I think he had one miss.
Wow.
Struggled to make some free throws at the end of the game, but his impact defensively on Jokic is one of one in the league. There is very few people outside of somehow Jay Will on the Thunder, who can replicate that kind of defensive success against him. But
Yeah.
I really just hope it's a better whistled game tonight where the Timberwolves made 14 free throws. Jamal Murray made 17 free throws. So you're just never going to win in a game where both teams shoot the same field goal percentage, and you got a disparity that big in that field.
You, you mentioned J-Dub. He had a
No.
fantastic
I was talking about
pass.
Jay Will, not
Oh,
J
you want Jay
Dub.
Will? Oh, I mean, I'm going to mention J Dub because Jalen Williams and Jalen Williams are the exact same. J Dub had a great pass. They called it a baseball pass. That was a touchdown pass. That was a football pass. I don't know where people got baseball from. That was a beautiful play to get it done. But, I honestly, I'm kind of hoping the T-Wolves will steal this one away from Denver. I think the T-Wolves, as you were talking about Rudy
Nice.
Gobert, I think he has played really well this season. And you talked about it. There's been so much slander on Rudy Gobert for the past like 3, 4 years straight. Like no one really like actually cares about Rudy Gobert now. But the fact that he's turning back into that playoff Rudy Gobert that he used to be, I think that's going to be one of the big cases for this T-Wolves team.
The fact he got snubbed off of the Depoy finalist is a joke. The
Yeah, that was
on-offs
crazy.
with him, so he sat twice in the final 2 weeks of the Timberwolves season. We gave up 141 and 133 in those games, and you're gonna
Yeah,
tell me that a 20-point difference is not Depoy caliber when we
that's
usually average
crazy.
about
Yeah,
114 given up?
unbelievable.
Sir Thompson, I mean, no mean to hate on Chet, but Chet has so many great defenders on his team, and you have Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Mike Conley, and Anthony Edwards giving half effort as Rudy Gobert's defensive partners, and you're gonna tell
Hmm.
me that the impacts are not remotely at least close enough to be a fine? I don't know. That made me mad.
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama, he is the defensive player of the year
Unanimously, first one.
unanimously. Yeah, first
Also,
unanimous.
the Hawks did come back and defeated the Knicks
Let's
by one.
go.
The Hawks outscored the Knicks in the fourth quarter, 28-15, and
Nikhil.
CJ
Oh,
McCollum had 32 points.
Ooh,
So,
okay, CJ.
we're talking
he's a really good
upsets.
player.
Talking about upsets, Orlando Magic coming away with an
Yeah.
upset over the Pistons. I
Cade
think
40
we
ball
could
just to
have some fun
lose.
here in the East. I don't know about the
What's so
West, but we're gonna have some
crazy
fun in the
about
East.
what's so crazy about the Magic is they played the Boston Celtics in the regular season finale. Boston didn't play anybody. If the Magic wins that
Yeah.
game, they're the sixth seed. They lose to a depleted Boston team resting all their starters when the Magic played their starters.
Hmm.
The Magic fall to seven. They have to play the 76ers. Or no, they fall to eight, excuse me. Get wiped off the floor against a really good Philadelphia team.
Right.
And then they play the Charlotte Hornets, who are a playing team, and you're like, wow, coach might get fired. They might potentially need to
Yep.
hit on more draft picks to help Jalen Suggs
They
and Paolo
got no
Banchero.
draft picks. They traded 5 of them for
Oh,
Desmond
that's right.
Bain.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the crazy part.
and then they beat Charlotte, and
Hmm.
maybe they're in
Killed them.
purgatory. Yeah, they killed them. And then they go to the Detroit Pistons and win. So it's an unbelievable turnaround. And had the
Yeah.
Magic lost to the Hornets, that would not have been a good look going into the offseason with the Desmond Bain trade like Gavin talked about. But we'll see. It's going to be an
Yeah.
interesting series for sure.
I I think it's definitely going to be interesting. Some other stats on Victor Wembanyama. He's also the youngest defensive player of the year in NBA history, being at 22 years old too. So had 11 and a half rebounds, one steal a game, and leading with 3.1 blocks per game. Uh, yeah, he played well. Here is your Kia MVP finalists: Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Nikola Jokic, and Victor Wembanyama. Does I really think it's between SGA and Jokic. I don't think Victor's in the mix with that for MVP. But hey, things could go crazy. Out of those three, who do you guys actually think will win the MVP?
Shea should, but I
Bronny
think
James.
that I want to say they might give it to Jokic or Wemby this year. I don't think they let Shea go back to back. But I
Okay.
could be wrong. I mean, I feel like he got snubbed 2 years ago for Jokic, so I wouldn't be surprised if they try and snub him
Snub
again.
him again. Okay.
Yep.
Anything but a
Anyone else?
Finals MVP is fine with me.
Okay, so rookie of the year. Colin Knuppel out of Charlotte, Cooper Flagg out of Dallas, VJ Edgecombe out of Philly. I feel like Cooper Flagg is probably going to win that one.
I
I don't
feel
know.
like he should. I mean,
Colin
regardless of
Knuppel did
anything,
well too.
Oh,
Dallas kind of
he's an
recovered a little
unbelievable
bit.
three-point shooter.
And I think there's too much hype behind Cooper Flag just to not give him the award. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like it would be a major letdown if he was not Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I know the playoffs have zero impact on voting at all, but the fact that the two playing games, Con Knipple made two three-pointers on like 14 attempts,
Yeah.
really shows that hey, the impact on a playoff team we were giving them credit for 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, no longer holds any merit because they are not a
Yeah.
playoff team. So,
Well,
I mean, that was my edge, basically. Hey, he's a contributor on a winning team, Cooper Flag. You take Cooper Flag off the Mavs, and they have the exact same amount of wins this season. You can't really tell
yeah,
me different. They ain't reaching 20 wins with a couple good Marshall games
I
mixed
agree.
in there with Gafford. But yeah, you probably do give it to Cooper Flag. Just what Austin said. It's the LeBron effect of that young phenom coming in the league.
Yeah. Okay, so Gavin, you made a good point, but then also, you said, well, voting doesn't have anything to do with the playoffs, but last year it did,
How so?
especially in the MVP race.
Not at all. They gave it to the
They
best player on the best team. That was Shea.
they took forever to announce that one.
I feel
Yeah,
like they always
but
do.
it was all said and
Not
done.
that long. Not that long. That took all the way up until what? The Western Conference Finals, almost heading to the NBA Finals. That's how long the MVP took last year, and that was
So
that was kind of crazy.
this could be me being a dummy and not knowing being arrogant, but why doesn't the NBA vote the MVP after the finals are over? Like
It's
why
just
are
a
we just
Because you
giving
have
it to
regular
the
Finals
season
regular
MVP.
season
award.
fan?
Well, say it like this, Josh. What if you had let's say Joel Embiid played this entire season and they got the six, they're the 7 seed, and he averaged 35, 17, and 12. And then
Hmm.
game 82, here's classic Joel Embiid, hurt before the playoffs. Well, he just broke all these historic records. You're gonna give him the MVP for that, most likely, over,
Yeah.
you know,
See,
So
good
but
the
playoff ball
the
from
other
Jalen
thing, Josh,
Brown just because
it
he's on a
it
good team who plays more
yes, and I know
games.
it's
yeah,
basketball in
I
that
get
case,
it.
or football, like going from basketball to football. But think about it. What if the Heisman wasn't voted on until after the national championship?
Heisman's dead.
I could get behind that because I don't
What
know. I
if
just feel
what
like
what if the player of the year for college basketball wasn't decided? The Naismith College basketball player wasn't decided until after the championship.
I
Yeah.
could get behind that.
I feel like if
I don't
you
But
know.
that
I
do it
think it
after the
always has to
that
be
might
season,
beforehand
that might
I,
be a hot take, but I don't know. I just
because
feel like
postseason is
I just
postseason. It's
The
a whole
basketball
different thing,
is
in
done after the season, though.
I
That's
feel
due
like
when
if
they
you
give awards
did
which
from
is
your
why they
college.
have finals
MVP,
MVP and all that.
No, I
right?
meant for college.
I feel like if you did it after the season, it would feel like a finals MVP moment. Like
Yeah.
usually, like
Exactly.
you
I don't know.
would, you know,
I
that's
just
just
feel
my take on it.
I
Like
know injuries
when
happen and everything, but I feel like when the game's on the line in a playoff game and you're not at your best, like why should
Hey,
you be getting
okay,
all
Game
these
7
awards?
SGA, pull it up against the Pacers. Take his MVP away and throw that crap in the drain. Give it
Okay,
to Tyrese Halliburton now. He's the MVP.
what about when
I would
didn't
agree.
James Harden win it with the 76ers and Game 7 and he only scored 3 points? Well,
You
I
mean with
could
the
be
Houston
misremembering.
Rockets?
With the
No, he
Rockets,
was with the 76ers
He
and
was never
he hasn't
MVP
he hasn't won
He
an
was
finalist.
with the
MVP with the
Clippers.
70s. Yeah.
okay.
He
Nah,
was with the
he hasn't
Clippers,
been
he
in
was with the
MVP talk outside
Rockets.
the Rockets.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, clutch player of the year, Anthony Edwards, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, and Jamal Murray.
Give it to Ant.
I
I,
feel like
I
it's
would
any of
agree.
those three.
Anthony Edwards has had some really clutch moments this year.
Give it to Luke
Yeah, he's
Kennard.
good.
Did you
Give it to
just say give it
Bronny
to Luke?
James.
There you go.
Bronny James. Bronny, I think Bronny
Nah,
played for like five. Didn't he
no,
play
he
for like
did.
five
But give
games?
it to that
Bronny?
Jenkins dude in Detroit. I swear,
Yeah.
every time they need a fourth quarter three-pointer, here he comes out of nowhere.
While Denver's on a 17-0 run right now.
I saw the 10-0 run and I put my phone away.
All right, six man. We got two more. Six man of the year finalists: Keldon Johnson of
Yeah.
Sacramento, Tim Hardaway Jr., Denver. Then you've got
You say Sacramento and you meant San
no, I meant the
Antonio?
Spurs. I
Oh
meant San
my
Antonio.
goodness.
Jamie Jacquez out of Miami. Yeah, I meant
Jaquez.
Keldon Johnson out of San
Um,
Antonio.
Yeah, give it to Johnson because how about a stat for you? Broke Manu Ginobili's points off the bench in Spurs single season history with 8 games to play.
That's crazy. That's
Those are the
crazy.
stats that should be mentioned.
I did not think that would ever.
That's crazy.
I mean,
I
you
didn't
think
think
of
that
Manu,
record
that's
would
an
ever actually
all-time
get.
all-time
Yeah,
six
he
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manu
all-time six
Ginobili
man
was
goat.
Gavin, just off of that
solid.
stat alone, he deserves it.
That's what
Oh,
I'm saying.
100%.
I
I mean,
agree. If you're
Ginobili
gonna
won
be,
how many championships?
and they're the
Yeah.
2 seed. They're the 2 seed. Give them
Yeah.
it.
Okay, coach of the year. There's no finalist out there yet for it.
Uh,
Who
I
do you guys
said,
think it should be?
I said after game 1, you got Shea going 5 of 18, and you win by 30. Give Coach Mark the MVP.
If you're not gonna give it to him, give it to the Pistons head coach for being the number 1 seed. Weren't they the 8
See,
seed last
that's where I
year?
was
I
thinking
think
too,
they were the
because
4 last year.
the
Well,
Pistons last year.
Yeah, they were the 4 or 5.
Actually, there are the NBA did announce the Coach of the Year finalists.
Did they find the
Um,
one I was looking at? Did not.
yeah, on Twitter, NBA, they have it down to JB Bickerstaff of Detroit, Mitch Johnson of the Spurs, and Joe out of the Boston Celtics.
Oh, then the Pistons coach.
And
They don't
then
even include.
I think the
Mark?
Celtics without Tatum is crazy impressive. But yeah, the
Nope.
Pistons are Celtics
They did
guy.
not.
Okay, the fact that they don't include Mark Daigneault is insane.
Well, this is why they did it. Chet got All NBA third and All NBA and All Defensive team. J-Dub got All NBA third team, and then Shea got All NBA first team. And
Yeah.
they just kind of overlooked that,
But
hey, 3
I'm
All
giving it
NBA
to the
players is going
Detroit
to
guy.
carry it to 60
It was
wins.
insane.
But
Yeah.
they're
What-
being coached to be all NBA players.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Um,
Hey, but
I
I will
mean,
say the Case
if
and
you're a
Wallace
coach-
regression season makes me question the development a little bit.
Yeah.
if the NBA had 5 All-Stars from one team, it should be a nod to the coach too. You know?
That's a great point.
So
And the Pistons only having one All-Star and being the 1 seed, I mean, just shows that
right,
the team's
so
pretty
give
mid.
them.
And oh no, they had
It's
2. I
crazy.
forget Duran was an All-Star this year. He's actually been playing pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pistons were a 6 seed last
Yeah, I
year.
lost to the Knicks. Wasn't that the first
They
round
lost
matchup?
116 to 113 in the final game.
Yes. But hey, they got
And then the year
ragdolled
before that,
series.
they didn't even make the playoffs.
Right. So to go from no seed to 6 seed to 1 seed all in a span of 3 years, I think that's coach of the year
That's
material.
impressive. Yeah,
I mean,
that's
what
100% coach of the
you're gonna
of
give
the
it
year
to a
material.
coach who has Wimby, which he's an alien, or you're gonna give it to the Boston Celtics coach, which they're the Celtics. They have 5 All-Stars on their team. So
And they've made and they've made to the top 3 for the past 3 years.
Okay,
straight
but the
Right.
reason
now?
the Celtics are is because they were actually projected to be the 10th seed going into the East this year. with how many
Yeah.
injuries they
I mean,
had. They
it's
traded Drew
credit.
Holiday.
Hmm.
They didn't have Jason Tatum. I mean, that's and they got rid of Porzingis too. Like
Yeah.
all of that happened in the offseason.
Okay.
And
Well, I
so
mean,
Sorry.
yes, but
then they
I'm
get the
giving it to
two
the
seed, and
if
teams are ducking them in the play-in because they'd rather play the number one seed over you. I think we gotta give them some flowers. Can't just
yeah,
throw them
I
out
think
the
so too.
window.
Okay. Fair.
I got the Pistons coach though
Yeah,
winning
I'll back
coach of the
that
year.
if it's not Mark.
All right, final thing. You got quick draw real fast before we get out of
Bet.
here, and um, it's gonna be super quick draw. We're not gonna do the minute. We're gonna have 30 seconds.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
geez, oh geez.
I know, 30 seconds. Got to talk quick. Got to get it done. We'll go Steven, Josh, Gavin, Austin.
All right,
Steven, your time starts now.
real quick. Baseball America on April 15th. They had their bracketology. Oklahoma State is next four out. Kansas State is last four in. Now, mind you, this is before last weekend, so that could change. Oklahoma State looked pretty good against Kansas, and Kansas State won their series against Arizona. So, really looking forward to seeing the finish line with Oklahoma State if they can make the postseason.
Josh.
All right. I'll make this super quick, kind of piggybacking off of baseball, what Steven said, but I want to give a shout out to my Rogers State Hillcats. Their baseball team is rolling, ranked seventh in the country right now, number one in the Central Region, have a record of 36-7, 24-5 in conference. They're first in the MIAA by, I think, 3 games, but they go to Pitt State this week for a series on the road. Pitt State's ranked ninth, RSU's ranked seventh. Those rankings will change tomorrow, but the Hillcats have only lost 1 game on the road this year. So hopefully they can go up to Pitt State and win and potentially solidify their spot as the number one team in the Central Region, which would be awesome.
Nebraska baseball recap. They drop out of the top 25, and then on Friday, trail 7-2 going into the seventh inning. Tack on a couple, 7-5, bottom of the ninth. Bunt with a runner on second, overthrow, tie it up, go into extras, walk it off. Saturday, blow them out against USC 12-2. And then on Sunday, back and forth game, I think they were trailing 5-2 and then ended up winning like 15-6 in just a great comeback victory, sweeping number 13 USC. So now Nebraska's 17.
WrestleMania was this weekend, and if you watched, Saturday was absolutely awful, and Sunday was absolutely banger. Um, Roman Reigns won a 33-minute match that was crazy. The ladder match, a six-man ladder match, was lit. But I feel like the moment of WrestleMania was the first match of Sunday night where Obafemi beat Brock Lesnar, and then Brock Lesnar took off his gloves in the middle of the ring, signaling that he's retiring. But in pro wrestling, it's never say never. But to see Brock cry in a ring, that's something I've never seen before. So thank you, Brock.
All right, my final thing is I'm going to talk some arena football. So the Wyoming Cavalry finished up their season, and giving all the flowers where credit is due, they went undefeated this year, and also taking down a team this past weekend in the closest matchup, 36-32. It was a big game that they were able to figure out a way. They've blown every other team out by 30 at their home stadium. So. That was pretty big. First year for arena football were really good. They did have some issues, got suspended from the league just because of due to turf issues, in field requirement, things that weren't met. So obviously they're working that for next year. They're going to be joining a new league. But all the flowers to them because the fact that they kept the community engaged, kept them involved, and not giving up on the community and really kept pushing forward. I was very impressed with that, and I got to call those games. It was a lot of fun. Probably some of the best broadcasting I've been able to get to do, just because it was fun. Like it wasn't being super professional; it was being professional in a different way. So, yeah, if you want to go check those out, you can go to the Omni Digital Video Productions on YouTube and check those out as well. So, yeah. Also, we got a side note. My voices actually went viral on somebody's TikTok because I called the guy McChicken. And better yet, he loves McChickens, and his name was McChristian. And so called him McChicken.
Huge NIL opportunity.
Exactly, right?
Get backed
That's some
by
great times,
McDonald's.
right? Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it here for the Five Horsemen Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to another great episode from Josh Jennings, Austin Starks, Gavin Bender, to Stephen Reese, to Chase the Horseman Horsley. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. And a big shout out to Holmes Law LLC for being a great sponsor here of Horseman Broadcasting and Entertainment here on our Five Horsemen Sports Podcast. Thank you guys again. We will see you guys next time here on the Five Horsemen Sports Podcast. Remember, stay tuned, stay locked in, and always ride with the Horsemen on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and so many other places you can get this podcast. Have a good one, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your time.